It has no gender.
Right. It has no gender.
Why would it?
It doesn't have a body. So
No, it's a combination of all
to
positive
you, it's
and
like the
negative.
Holy Spirit. It's a wind. That's what the Holy Spirit is. Wind.
It's a wind?
Yeah.
Okay. You're asking me questions that I hadn't thought about before, but I'm only trying to explain my sensations.
Yeah. No. That's why I think it's good. I want off the cuff answers.
Yeah. So you talked. The last question was regarding like having that guidance, the conversations during meditation.
Yeah. The higher self does not manipulate its past selves, but serves as a guide and protector, intervening when asked and when possible. So I think those are two big things: when asked and when possible.
It won't intervene at a point where it will step on your free will. Stupid, because one, it's not beneficial to your higher self.
Well, also, like in our linear aspect, you have to understand, because I'm going to get into something. This is really cool. You have to this is another dimension of the higher self that really pumped me up and got me all super jazzed. Yeah. You have to understand it has unlimited wisdom, basically.
Yeah, that's correct.
So it's going to know.
It always does.
It's going to know when it needs to intervene. And be very smart about it, because it's millions and millions and millions of me evolved way in the future, let's say. So it's kind of like what people call a guardian angel.
Yeah, you could call it that.
Because that's what it's doing. And this is what it was like really cool to me. It's like what we envision, because we put names like religious names on things. Your higher self is kind of like a guardian angel.
Yeah,
if you want to look at it in our terms.
Human beings, it is very difficult for us to not see things with edges. See this? This keyword? I can feel it. I can see the edges. It has a form. Formlessness is very difficult for us. Super, super difficult. And when you're having conversations with something which is formless and it's just pure energy, what do you do with that? So it's, in some respects, people will form these energies into like a thing because it allows them to adjust to it better. But in its purest format, this thing doesn't have a form. It does not have a time. It's just there. But we exist as a point on this sphere of time, not in a line, but in a sphere of time.
But it's not just there. And I know you're getting to this, but I want to make this really important.
You're going there.
It's not like this ambiguous God that's just there. It is super active
all the time. You want to know why? Because it's so active. For us, an activity means its frequency per second, right? This thing doesn't have seconds. It's just pure fucking on. It's just on switch everywhere, at all times, doing its thing. It's seeing, it's taking this information in, and when you ask it, because it wants you, it is a part of you in some respects. It wants you to do as best as possible.
Well, how much love would it have towards you?
Infinite.
More than you.
Unending. You could never imagine.
Yeah, you can never imagine. You can never imagine the amount of love it has.
And could you imagine this in a physical format? So many people, always being there for you, no matter what happens in your life, always giving you love, always wanting to give you that love, always wanting to give you that conversation of comfort at all times. Always being there, never an off switch. It's always the person you can call at 3 a.m. without question.
Yeah, it's always there.
It's the greatest amount of love, and it's always there waiting.
So if you had, let's use analogies now. If you had the most powerful AI in the world, it wouldn't even come close.
Not even close.
It couldn't even close. But it had all the love and all the wisdom for you. That's kind of what this thing is.
Yeah, that's correct.
It's like an AI way in the future. That has its machine data learning set is all the millions of lives you've lived.
But here's where shit gets
it already knows them all.
Here's where shit
Think about
gets wild.
that. That's crazy.
No, it gets more wild. Because it's not just my overall consciousness block. It's not just my higher self. There's billions upon billions of them because there's so many other entities, not only on this planet, but everywhere else. And they're all interacting in this sphere of our current universe. They're all connected. And I think that's probably the most fucked up, pained thing in total is because the people or entities that live in our universe but are more evolved from us, beyond us, are in better connection with it. So I think they feel more of the pain from our actions. This is a hypothesis. but just knowing how these things are connected. And I think that's why these things show up. That's why, you had these incidents in the 40s. That's why, after all these, nuclear detonations and the work we were doing, like all these craft had showed up, because not that they're watching, but whoever those entities are and their higher selves are so well connected that they're like, we need to bring more love here.